Everybody, this is Sebu Badaki. I'm back with Ask the Global Girl. I'm Sebu Badaki, of course, the Global Girl. And today's question is, do I need to know a foreign language? And so we're getting this question because so many times people are thinking, I would love to do international business, but I don't speak the language of that country. Is that a requirement? Well, I'm going to say absolutely not. But I'm also going to tell you how to move or maneuver around the fact that you do not know the language. And so I've lived in 2 different countries and I did not speak either of their primary languages. Now, I am not proud of that at all, but I was able to transact business, live there for quite some time without learning the language. Now, one thing I did learn in both of the countries I lived in was greetings. It is so important, at least if you can greet the person, to say hello, to say how you're doing. Understand their greetings, just basic words. And people love when you attempt to learn to actually speak in the language. Now, what happens if you don't know the language? What happens if you find out you're going to a country and you don't have any time to learn the language? Do you not go? Absolutely not. Go, go, go. What I want you to do, though, is when you go, all of your marketing materials that you want to bring to that country, everything that you need, I would love for you to go ahead and start having that translated into the language that they are actually going to be speaking in that country. And so this way that they actually see that you're making an effort. They don't expect you to learn the language overnight, but they would at least let you acknowledge the fact that you know that they don't speak the language. Acknowledge the fact that you are that you understand exactly just what's going on in that country, basically, and not that you just come in with your own language, your own culture, and you want to just kind of put it on them. So the other thing I would say is culture. Culture is so important. Please, please, please do everything that you can to learn the culture. Culture snafus are not easily forgiven. And it could be anywhere from handshake or a hand symbol to giving the wrong kind of gift. It could be so many different things. And so that is something that you definitely want to understand before you go in. Understand protocol as well. Understand that if a person is older than you or if people have certain professions, do they need to have a title before their name? That is so important. You don't want to call someone by their first name in a country where no one is calling that person by their first name. And that could be simply because of an age or professions. I know that for sure that in some countries, all the architects are called by their first architect, the title, and then their name. Doctors are still called, all doctors, PhDs are always called by their doctor's name. And people who are older, you always will address them as Mr. and Mrs. So that is something that you would definitely want to be, have some understanding on. Don't go into that area blind. Also understand how the role of women and how it's played in that country. And you want to understand that because you're thinking about how you as a woman in your country and basically, what the limits or limitations could be. And so what you want to go into a country and basically understand where women normally sit, where women don't sit, what rooms that women are allowed to go in. How do women greet people of the opposite sex? How do people greet people of the same sex? And so I do remember, by being in Ethiopia, it's a very warm embrace where people are kissing on both sides. But you have to ask yourself, if you've never met this guy before, is that the way that you want to embrace him? And so those things are also important to know. And if that's the way they now approach you, now, how would you now manage that? Because you also want to be culturally attuned. So these are just a few things that I want to tell you about. Language is important. It's great if you can at least learn all the greetings and have all your marketing information translated into the language of the country you're going into. One tip on that translation, please get it done by a professional. Don't just go into Google and start translating. Not only do you want to translate it in terms of the word, but you also want to make sure the context is correct, and you also want to make sure that even the photos and everything else that's in your marketing material is contextually correct. So don't use Google. Please go ahead and use a professional. And if you can learn some greetings, that'll get you such a long way. I'm Sebu Badaki, the Global Girl. This is our Ask the Global Girl series. If you have a question, I would love for you to go ahead and submit that question to us, and so we can send it to you as we can respond back to you on your question. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to our channel. And if you have not joined our Going Global group, please join. Have a great day.